it as much as I love my job. But all they did was radicalize me, and so now they need to be afraid.
And that is Cody Bush on her humiliating loss last night. All they did was radicalize me, and now they need to be afraid because you don't have a job? Once a talk, always a talk. I mean, yeah, you don't have a job, so maybe a lot of people need to be afraid.
AIPAC, I'm coming to tear your kingdom down.
For those that don't know, AIPAC is the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. All I'm saying, if I said it of any organization that is related to a specific protective class, I might be in trouble.
I started talking about being a politivist. I am a politivist.
You faced some criticism in recent weeks over your push to defund the police. The campaign records show that you spent roughly $70,000 on private security.
You would rather me die? I'm going to make sure I have security because I know I have had attempts on my life and I have too much work to do. There are too many people that need help right now for me to allow that. So if I end up spending $200,000, if I spend $10 more on it, you know what? I get to be here to do the work. So suck it up, and defunding the police has to happen. We need to defund the police and put that money into social safety net.
All I'm saying is this: if you're going on a hunger strike to send a message and I'm your representative, I can't be on the stage, hunger strike for the people. I need to survive so I can stand up for you. And you live in a neighborhood with your gated community. I'm fighting for you poor people. I don't know, man. Whenever Cody Bush said that they're around Black Lives, BLM and all that mumbo jumbo, I realized she was a failure.
What we're seeing is that we are in a transition. We had this strong economic growth because of the work that this president has done in the past 18 months, and now what we're seeing is a transition into stable and steady.
You might think it's a joke, but that is how people were feeling.
You're saying that you're saying that they're paying their fair share is what you're saying.
No, I'm asking what percentage is a fair share.
Their fair share, the same. If a third of my money is going to taxes, then I think a third of their money should be going to taxes. Well, it does.
I'm trying to understand because you realize the effective tax rate on the poor is less than it is on the rich, right?
Okay, so first of all, I'm not the poor. I'm very close to that line, but I'm not the poor.
Okay, so the effective tax rate on the middle class is less than it is on the rich, correct?
You're not supposed to be in Congress. It's like, we need to tax more. We already taxed them like that. What? That's your job.
This lady came to us and she had these tumors. I put my hand on her and my hand just began to move. And the lumps that were there were no longer there. And she was so happy and she went on about her day. And I never saw her again.
So you think the tumors disappeared?
I do. And this woman was unhoused.
And now your Congress job is gone. Somebody put a hand on your job. And the tumor was gone. Because you suck the life out of people. You suck the tax dollar. And you don't do anything productive with it.
I get to be here to do the work. So suck it up, and defunding the police has to happen.
I'm coming to tear your kingdom down.
I'm going to be loud, and that's okay. You want to see me die?
What you didn't want to do was allow me to get radicalized even more, because this is the thing. I ain't scared.
I have private security because my body is worth being on this planet right now.
I know that it's time for things to close.
It has to be about a goal of saying everybody should end up in the same place. And since we didn't start in the same place, some folks might need more. Equitable distribution. Giving resources based on equity, understanding that we fight for equality, but we also need to fight for equity, understanding not everyone starts out at the same place. So there's a big difference between equality and equity. Equality suggests often everybody should get the same thing. Well, that often assumes everybody started out in the same place. As opposed to equity, which is everyone should end up in the same place. And if you then understand not everybody started out in the same place, you understand some people need more. So we all end up in the same place, right? We are proud of the fact that equity is one of our guiding principles. Proud of the fact that we understand equality is important, but not everybody starts out on the same base.
Kamala seems to be very empathetic, and I give her that. But if she really wants to apply equity, men in black family are in such a disadvantaged position right now, then officially you need to help them way more than women so we can end up in the good place with two families. But interestingly enough, you married to a white man.
Has being second gentleman changed your own view of perceived gender roles or what it means to be a man?
Too much of toxicity.
As if like brave me.
It's masculine toxicity out there, and we've kind of confused what it means to be a man, what it means to be masculine, where you've got this trope out there that you've got to be tough and, you know, angry and lash out to be strong. It's just the opposite.
APAC, I'm coming to tear your kingdom down.
If that is true, then officially the way Cori Bush is speaking a lot, yeah, that's kind of toxic masculinity. We call that misandry.
You know, strength is how you show your love for people. Strength is how you are for people and how you have their back and how you stick up for other people.
I agree with him. We need to stand up to the bullies. So if somebody is bullying my son, I will tell my son, you can do it. It's going to be gangster. I'm going to solve this issue. But I need to bring a solution too.
I'm going to make sure I have security because I know I have had attempts on my life. We need to defund the police and put that money into social safety net.
And interestingly enough, you use a VP that is also a white man.
I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
You're going to get bit! Get on the ground! Go. Get your hands out! Get your hands out!
27-year-old Jacob Root is now quadriplegic after getting tased by Colorado Springs police officer Robert Comstock. Root says he has no independence and relies on others to feed him. The officers pretty much made a choice for me to be a prisoner in my body. Don't run from police, don't get tased, don't suffer life-altering injuries, simple logic. Yeah, it is a really sad story and I have sympathy for the guy, but at the end of the day, it's a really simple but brutal case of FAFO. In all honesty, I didn't see that coming, but at the same time, he ran very fast, they shot him and he landed very fast. So don't tell me we can't shoot people that run too fast because they might land and hit their head.
I just saw this thing. I didn't know. If you leave birth control in a hot car, it increases the chance of it not working, ladies. But if you ever need a plan B, you could always leave the baby in a hot car.
Some people say this is sickening and some people say it don't. If you're for abortion right, it's just a joke. But in UK, there are certain things you can say.
The offence of incitement to racial hatred involves publishing or distributing material which is insulting or abusive, which is intended to or likely to start racial hatred. So if you retweet that, then you're republishing that, and then potentially you're committing that offence. And we do have dedicated police officers who are scouring social media. Their job is to look for this material and then follow up with identification arrests and so forth.
Surprise, motherfucker!
So it's a really, really serious. People might think they're not doing anything harmful. They are, and the consequences will be visited upon them.
So let me show you something that you're not allowed to retweet. I just cut it off because we're going to have an interesting conversation. In all honesty, if you want to apply equity and inclusion, well, maybe we need to apply more white people so there is a balance.
We see that people in our country are having an experience that is not equal.
And I'm not advocating for anything. I'm just saying one people can post and others can't. One has consequence and one doesn't.
Don't get me wrong, mako sa kita bong. Put the fire na mi blonde kush hash purple skunk. Creo yo colombici jam jam. Dur lo que ta verde ta welcome.